Caesar has been assassinated. The empire is up for grabs, but only one can become emperor of Rome. You will scheme, use military might, trade and increase profits, and build monuments to the gods to fulfill and secure your destiny as emperor. Welcome to Age of Rome. Age of Rome is played over 9 rounds, at which point the player with the most glory will be crowned Emperor of Rome. As you can see, the game is already set, but we'll talk about some key points here. Now, the main board will have populations set to 1, the different levels and 5 types of buildings stacked on the side, and events, quests, and trade cards shuffled and placed in their respective spaces. The Pantheon pieces and their piles will be here. Now, each player board, next to their Pantheon boards, will have different money or denarii indicated by their character, as well as different glory on the main board, and scheme markers, feud markers, legions, votes, and followers on the player boards. Characters with the anchor will draw 1 into their hand. Decide who will play first and put the first player marker on the province in front of them. Lastly, deal 3 quest cards to each player. They'll decide which 2 to keep, keeping them secret throughout the game, returning the other to the bottom of the pile on the main board. We're now ready to play. Now, before we get into gameplay, know that as players get glory points, they'll reach milestones, which will gain them a follower. Now, after the first milestone on space 5, when a player reaches the next one, they'll move the milestone marker down 1 to make it easier for other players to reach. Each of the 9 rounds is divided into 4 phases, which are played in this order: scheme, building, action, and income. The scheme phase will have you flip an event for all players, and the turn order will be determined. You will give the reward to the player who earns it based on the text, and then point the first player marker in the turn order as directed. Next, in the new player order, players can activate schemes from any province they have a marker on, besides the one in front of them. Now, the first round, no players will have any, but let us take a look at how this works. The active player can decide to activate a scheme marker and affect the player that is facing the province of the activated scheme. You'll do so by removing the leftmost feud marker from your track and placing it in the rightmost space of their feud track. These might open up bonuses to you while covering up your rivals. Then, for every scheme you've successfully activated, you'll perform one of the 3 scheme actions from your character as listed on the left-hand side. Now, the first 2 are common for everyone, being remove a glory point from the affected player or removing a Pantheon piece from their Pantheon board. But the last scheme will be character specific. Feel free to pause the video for you to look at this list. The scheme marker then returns to the player's board. Now, the second phase is building. Here, players can place building tiles in the province they are facing. They can place a level 1 building if that building type space is open on that province, or a level 2 on top of the same level 1 type building, and so on. They can place as many building tiles as they want in that province, as long as they can pay for them as listed here. For each tile placed, you'll earn glory points as listed on the previous space or tile and increase the population by 1. For example, to place the last level 3 building, you'll need to pay the cost listed on the level 2 tile and receive glory points as listed on that level 2 building. Furthermore, if you're the first to complete that type of building, you'll earn its medal. These are not points, but in fact will grant that player a unique ability. There are 5 types of buildings, and their unique abilities granted by their medals are listed here. Again, feel free to pause the video. On to the action phase. Now, starting with the first player and going in turn order, they'll place their followers to perform an action. This is essentially the worker placement aspect of the game. They'll place their followers on a building, scheme space, but only in the province in front of you. This is how you place schemes, or the Colosseum. Let's start with the building actions. As stated, there are 5 types of building, each with their own effects. Military buildings will have you move 1 legion figure from your player board to a battle region on the main board. At the end of the game, if the total number of legions is met, the player with the most legions there will score the glory points as listed on this standard, the second place will score this many points, and so on. The political building will have that player place their vote on the Senate's column. When a sixth vote is placed, the bottom vote will be returned to the player who owns it, as it can only hold 5 votes at a time. Final scoring will have each vote score glory points based on the position. Should a player place a third consecutive vote marker, they'll also immediately score 2 glory points. Trade buildings will have you draw a trade card, which can be used in different ways. Played for their effects, collected as sets, or traded in for 1 denarius. You may only ever hold 5 cards, including the anchor card, but you can, however, decide to place, sell, or discard one before drawing a new one. If collected as a set of 3, indicated by matching icons, these will go out in front of you, and it cannot be used to sell or for their effects. But you'll earn glory points at the end of the game, as listed here. These don't take room in your hands, but a player can only have a maximum of 3 sets. The religion buildings will have you place 1 Pantheon piece on your Pantheon board. Players will start the level 1, 3 tiles, 2 in their colors, and place the last one, the third one, in the highest color, gold, silver, or bronze, from the common pile. The second level is 4 pieces, again using 3 of their colors, and placing the last piece from the highest color in the Pantheon common pile. Remember, these can be removed during opponent's schemes, so be careful. These will score points based on the color tiles at the end game. Farming will have you gain denarii based on the current round, as listed here. And lastly, a player can place their follower in the Colosseum. For each follower they'll place, they'll earn 1 glory point. When all players in turn order have placed all their followers one at a time, they'll retrieve them. The last phase is income. Starting with the first player, they'll decide how much income they want to take from the province in front of them. They can take 1 denarius for each population, or gain double by taxing them heavily, but lose glory as listed here. When all players have collected income, you'll rotate the board 90 degrees per arrow in the direction pointed on the event card. Play until the end of the 9th round, where we calculate final scoring. These include battle regions, political vote position, sets from trade cards, Pantheon scoring based on pieces, completed quests, and 1 glory for every 4 denarii, or 1 gold for every 3 if you have the religious medal. The player with the most glory is the new Emperor of Rome. I mean, if the stunning visual quality of the game gets you hyped, wait until you play it. Believe it or not, this is a pre-production copy which we had the pleasure of playing. Age of Rome is so good, I'm almost tempted to write a review of it instead of a preview. The game has different avenues of scoring, but you can't pigeonhole yourself in one. Like a good Euro, this game not only has you concentrated on what you solely do, but how to undermine your opponents. I also love the added little touch of when to use a scheme marker and not using them at every opportunity, but rather strike when it'll hurt most. You know, keeping in mind their glory points and bonuses of when to cover up theirs and activating yours. The representation of the moving board really captures the feel of the many moving parts this game has. The tactical, long-term planning, and a well-placed scheme at the right moment to bring your destiny as Emperor a little closer to reality. This game is good to go. Let's see it fun, because everyone should have the glory of playing Age of Rome. Subscribe now to our channel to stay in the loop. If you like our work, help us continue by sharing the channel to your gaming group. Thanks for watching and happy gaming.